Consider starting a business that becomes so prosperous that it increases your net worth to almost $100 billion, making you one of the richest persons on the planet. Now take time to consider how you'd like to utilize a sizable chunk of that wealth to help improve the world. This is Bill Gates' reality. Keep watching this video to find out more about the Silicon Valley startups Bill Gates bets on. Farming robots. A Silicon Valley business that thinks robots can grow food more sustainably announced on Wednesday that it had raised over $15 million in a funding round led by Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures as California battles yet another catastrophic drought. According to CEO Brandon Alexander, Iron Ox uses robots that are coupled with a hydroponic system that uses 90% less water than conventional farms. A self-driving robot dubbed Grover transports pallets of Genovese basil as an automated arm system raises the pallets for inspection. The company is putting that system to use in a 10,000 square feet or 930 square feet greenhouse in Gilroy, California. For proper growth, sensors measure the water's levels of acidity and nitrogen. Afterwards, they ask, what is missing? What does that plant require that we aren't providing? Asked Alexander. Unused water can be pumped back into the system for future utilization. Although California's economy heavily depends on agriculture, water use is becoming a bigger concern. The most recent severe drought from 2012 to 2017 reduced agricultural irrigation, required tight family conservation methods, and sparked dangerous wildfires. In addition to growing cilantro, parsley, and tomatoes, Iron Ox also raises Thai basil and strawberries. A 535,000 square foot greenhouse is also being constructed by the firm in Lockhart, Texas, which lies 48 kilometers or 30 miles south of Austin. According to Alexander, hydroponics, which involves growing plants without soil to conserve water, is only one aspect of farming in the future. To really eliminate waste, to really get to that next level of sustainability and impact, we have to rethink the entire growth process, he said. The funding round included investors from Crosslink Capital, R7 Partners, and Pathbreaker Ventures, among others. Iron Ox declined to comment on its valuation. AI chip startup. The $10,100 fund of Uber co-founder Travis Kalanick, current Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates have all invested in Luminous, a small startup developing an artificial intelligence processor. The investment demonstrates that influential players in the IT sector think that there's still room for a new hardware standard for AI to develop and be implemented into a number of software applications. The business raised $9 million in total during its seed round. As AI has gained popularity, several startups have started developing cutting-edge hardware in recent years. One called Nirvana was purchased by Intel in 2016. For proper growth, sensors measure the water's levels of acidity and nitrogen. Partovi told CNBC via email that he always prefers to bet on a strong young team over a big established corporation. Despite the high level of risk, investing now is worthwhile because it would be too late to do so if the race had already ended. In an interview with CNBC on Monday, co-founder and CEO of Luminous, Marcus Gomez, said that current businesses are finding it difficult to get significant improvements using chips that can run AI models. The company's 7 employees are working to create a chip that can replace the 3,000 boards that currently hold the newest Tensor processing unit AI chips from Google. We know this works because we already have working silicon, Gomez said. Even Google's foray into the AI silicon market was a risky move. Instead of depending on the NVIDIA graphics cards that have grown popular among AI researchers for training AI models with massive amounts of data, the company decided to take matters into its own hands. Although Google has started its own TPUs in its public cloud, it hasn't yet started selling these processors to other businesses. Luminous doesn't tend to market its chips to several business sectors. They may be bought by cloud service companies like Google or Amazon Web Services. Additionally, Gomez, who has worked at Google and Match Group's Tinder, suggested that businesses who produce drones, robots, or self-driving cars might include them into their systems. Startup that prints synthetic DNA. The Gates fund a wide range of outstanding initiatives that work to improve the world both now and in the future. You must have read about a few of their foundation's health-related initiatives over the years, most notably those that support research to help sick people who live in severe poverty and those aimed at hastening the eradication of malaria. The Gates' recent investment in Ginkgo Bioworks, a hot startup that prints DNA, and the subject of this blog are far different from these admirable initiatives. Briefly stated, MIT researchers created Ginkgo Bioworks in 2009 as a biotech business with headquarters in Boston. The business creates industrially useful microbes through genetic engineering. Repurposing bacteria for industrial applications is not a novel concept if you're familiar with the history of genetic engineering. There are hundreds of publications from the years 1985 to 1990 that may be read later at this link. In contrast, Ginkgo Bioworks, also known as Ginkgo, is implementing cutting-edge new technologies in its agreements with well-known pioneers in bioindustrial fermentation. The microbial strains that fuel their processes are more effective thanks to these technologies. In 2015, Twist promised to provide Ginkgo with 100 million base pairs of DNA, which was estimated to be 10% of the total capacity of synthetic DNA worldwide. Twist technology uses small-scale, high-density DNA synthesis or printing on silicon. 2 years later, George Church's DNA synthesis business Gen 9 was purchased by Ginkgo. In 2000, Microsoft's founder Bill Gates and his wife Melinda Gates established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's the biggest private foundation in the United States with $38 billion in assets. The foundation's main goals are to improve healthcare worldwide, lessen extreme poverty, and provide access to information technology and educational opportunities in America. The foundation's involvement in Silicon Valley startups enables large ideas with modest funding to become revolutionary.